Hello and welcome to God First. All lessons are based on the teachings of Reverend Young Peck. Today we'll be taking a look at the faith of four men. Let's jump right in. King Nebuchadnezzar of Babylon besieges Jerusalem and takes captive Israel's finest citizens. Among those deported to Babylon include four young men from Judah's tribe, Daniel, Shadrack, Meshach, and Abednego. The story of these four young men shows us the way to receive God's blessings. 1. When hardships come, understand it's God's love. These four young men had their lives turned upside down. King Nebuchadnezzar overtakes Jerusalem. They are taken captive, their freedom and former lives lost. Instead of complaining and blaming God for their misfortunes, they immediately understand it to be the result of Israel's betrayal and disobedience. Instead of grumbling and whining, they repent. When we meet unforeseen circumstances and hardships, we must be like these four young men. Don't complain but repent. Look to God, obey. Understand it to be God's love, His way of making us repent what is wrong. 2. Don't be arrogant and remain steadfast. Of all the people taken captive, these four men were among those selected to be schooled for 3 years. They were viewed as men of talent and trained in the house of the king. It was the perfect time to be arrogant. It was the perfect time to forget God and serve their new masters. But they remained steadfast. Because they brushed off temptations and remained focused, God gave them 10 times the wisdom. When we experience something we perceive to be a blessing, it's easy to become arrogant. When we make money, or land a better job, or receive an unexpected bonus in life, we often forget about God and become self-absorbed and conceited. Whatever fortunes come our way, we must not become arrogant. And we must remain steadfast. Start with something easy and stick with it for 3 years without faltering. 3. When thrown into the lion's den or furnace, these young men did not waver. We know these young men remained humble and steadfast for 3 years because when they faced life-threatening challenges, they didn't waver or crumble. Because they remained steadfast, in close contact with God, and obeyed Him for those 3 years, they were confident and full of peace, even in the face of their demise. They believed in God's omnipotent power, that He could save them from the lion's den or a furnace. If we face hardships without building up 3 years of faithful obedience, it's hard to suddenly muster up an intimate relationship with God. We must remain steadfast when things are good, to have a foundation of faith that prepares us for hardships. We're not blindsided because God has always been with us. He is still there. The circumstances have only changed. These four men show us how to conduct ourselves in life, which is full of ups and downs. When hardships come, we must not complain. We must recognize it as God's love. Take it as an opportunity to fix what is wrong and repent. And when this hardship turns to fortune, we must not become arrogant. Instead, we must be steadfast, continuing to do good things without fail. Start with something easy like reading a chapter of the Bible every day and stick to it. Like Daniel, Shadrack, Meshach, and Abednego, obey and do the work of God without wavering or pause. When hardships come, you will not waver because you have already built a solid relationship with God. If we follow in the footsteps of these four young men, we remain grounded regardless of how high the world boosts us, and we're able to overcome any obstacles because we're ready. Thank you, and for more lessons like this, please visit our website at www.godfirstpeck.com. See you next time.